In 90 seconds, a drone will turn this cafe into a crater. The man 3 tables away has a $25 million bounty on his head. He doesn't know you exist. Nobody does. You're sitting in Karachi. You've been here for 11 weeks. You look like every other businessman in this district. Boring, forgettable, gray. Your phone buzzes once. One word. Green light. You don't react. You don't look around. You fold your newspaper. You take one more sip of tea. You check your watch like you're late for a meeting. The man with the bounty will be vaporized. So will the waiter. So will the old man playing chess by the window. He's winning. He doesn't know that's the least important thing happening in this room. You have 60 seconds to walk out without anyone noticing. You stand, you leave cash on the table, you walk. Not fast, not slow. Just a man heading back to work, 2 blocks away when the explosion shakes the windows. Car alarms scream. People run toward the smoke. You keep walking. Tomorrow the news will say gas leak. The intelligence agencies will know the truth. They won't know about you. You don't exist, you never did. 3 weeks from now, a bomb will not go off in a shopping mall in Virginia. 200 people will go home. None of them will ever know you exist. That's why you're here. You don't apply for this. There is no posting. There is no recruiter. They find you. You're already elite. Delta Force, SEAL Team 6. CIA paramilitary. You've done things that will never be declassified. You think you've seen everything. You're wrong. A man approaches you. No uniform, no rank. He looks like an accountant. Soft hands. The kind of guy you'd forget 5 seconds after meeting him. That's the point. How many languages do you dream in? You tell him 3. He nods like that's the wrong answer. 3 this week. It depends on the operation. He slides a folder across the table. No letterhead, just text. The unit has no name that survives longer than 18 months. Gray Fox. Centra Spike. Task Force Orange. The intelligence support activity. By the time anyone traces one name, it's already changed. That's not paranoia. That's policy. The pitch is simple. You become a ghost. Transfer to a training command in Kansas. Your family thinks you have a desk job. You miss birthdays. You miss funerals. If you die, there is no body, no flag. Just a star on a wall in a building you'll never see. No name. Just a star. Are you in? You think about your wife? Your kids? You say yes. The man walks away. You never see him again. Here's how it works. SEAL Team 6 kicks down the door. Delta raids the compound. Ranger sees the airfield. They are the hammer. You find the nail. Without you, the shooters are sitting on helicopters with nowhere to go. You find the targets. You map the networks. You hand off the coordinates and disappear. The operators get the medals. You get a classified file that no one will ever read. Selection is 90% attrition. Delta operators, SEAL snipers, Green Beret team leaders. They wash out because they cannot become invisible. The guy who needs to be the alpha, gone. The guy who looks like a soldier, gone. People remember handsome. They keep the gray men. Lying average height, average build, average face. Extraordinary skills hidden behind aggressive mediocrity. Day 1 of surveillance training, you're given a photo and told to follow the target for 8 hours without being seen. You've tracked insurgents through Baghdad. You fail in 90 minutes. The instructor shows you photos of yourself taken by people you never saw. The woman with the stroller, the shopkeeper, the man reading a newspaper who was not reading a newspaper. He doesn't yell. He sets the photos on the table one by one. Start over. Day 2, the target ducks into a restaurant and you hesitate at the door. Amateur move. A real professional would have walked past, circled the block, waited, start over. Day 3, you fail because you wore the same jacket 2 days running. Day 5, you fail because you walk like a soldier. Day 7, you complete the exercise. 8 hours, 0 detection. You feel proud. The instructor doesn't congratulate you. He nods and slides a new photo across the table. New target, new city, harder. You learn to change your walk, your posture, the way you hold your shoulders. A baseball cap makes you memorable. A gray jacket makes you invisible. People remember faces but forget bodies. You learn to argue about football like a local. You know who won the championship in 1987. You watch soap operas from the target country to understand the jokes, the references, the things that mark you as someone who grew up there versus someone who studied there. They make you spend 3 hours learning how to drink tea correctly, not the taste, the posture, the way you hold the glass, the way you blow on it, the way you set it down. Every culture does it differently. Get it wrong once in the field and you're marked. Get it wrong twice and you're dead. 3 hours per country, 18 hours on tea. You do not question this. The instructors have buried people who question this. Then they drop you in a foreign city with no money, no weapons, no extraction plan. Survive 1 week. Day 1, you sleep under a bridge. Day 3, you befriend a merchant who thinks you're a traveler who got robbed. By day 6, all 3 objectives completed. No ceremony, just a tap on the shoulder. Welcome to the activity, your first real mission, North Africa. The target is a financier named Hassan, not his real name. Never touched a weapon, never pulled a trigger, but his money has killed hundreds of Americans. Soldiers in Iraq, civilians in embassies. On paper, he's a businessman. He files taxes. He attends charity events. He sends $5 million a month to people who build suicide vests. Get close. Map his world. Don't get caught. You arrive as Klaus Richter, German businessman, industrial machinery parts. You do nothing interesting for 2 months, then you start appearing. The gym on Tuesdays and Thursdays, the cafe where he reads the paper every Thursday afternoon. You never approach him. You never make eye contact. You exist near him the way a shadow exists near a man in sunlight. He doesn't see you. That's the point. Week 3, you know his schedule better than his wife does. His driver Freed takes the same route every morning, a security failure that tells you he's become comfortable. You know he meets a woman on Tuesdays who isn't his wife. Week 6, you notice a car that appears too often. Counter surveillance. He survived this long for a reason. You adjust, you report it. Within 48 hours, Signals has cracked his phone. They're reading everything. A courier arrives carrying documents that map terrorist financing across 3 continents. 3 taxis, 2 doublebacks, amateur. He checks into a hotel. Room 412. That night, a team you'll never meet enters while he sleeps. Documents photographed. Every page, every number, replaced exactly as found. He wakes with a headache he thinks is jet lag. He delivers the documents to Hassan. He never knows they were copied. A week later, $40 million frozen across 6 countries. 12 arrests, 3 planned attacks stopped. A shopping mall in Paris. A subway in London, a hotel in Bangkok. Your name is on nothing. You were never there. You call home that night. Your son answers. You ask how school was. He says fine. You say you'll be back soon. He says you always say that. He's right. The mission that takes 14 months is a bomb maker the agency calls the Engineer. 200 American deaths, IEDs in Anbar, car bombs in Kabul, no phone, no fixed location. The CIA has been looking for 3 years. Nothing. Then they send you. You don't look for him, you look for everyone around him. In Turkey, you're a journalist. In Jordan, an aid worker. In Pakistan, a businessman exploring construction contracts in places where nothing should be built. You are not looking for him. You are looking for the shape of the hole he leaves in the world. The break comes from a single intercepted call. A compound in the mountains suddenly has activity. You go in as a journalist writing about reconstruction. 2 weeks eating with village elders and watching that compound through a lens that is also a targeting scope. One face hits, not the target. His brother. The financier thought to be dead. If the brother is there, so is he. You relay everything. GPS to 1 meter. Guard rotations to the minute. 72 hours later, a military operation eliminates a senior terrorist figure. No details released. You drew the map. They followed it. That arithmetic doesn't leave you. Somewhere in Virginia, a star is carved into a wall, not for you. For 2 operators who went in on your coordinates and didn't come back, the divorce papers arrive at an apartment you've slept in 30 nights total. She got the house. You signed the papers in a hotel room in a city you can't name. You kept working. Then comes the mission that breaks every rule. A nuclear scientist held hostage by his own government. His wife followed everywhere. He wants out. 1 chance. 1 night. Trust us or spend your life building weapons for people who will use them. He says yes. The night of the extraction, a power outage that isn't an accident. In the darkness, you move. The scientist, his wife, his 2 daughters. The youngest is 7. She has a stuffed rabbit she refuses to leave behind. You waited 3 extra minutes at the pickup point because of the rabbit. You would wait again. She thinks it's an adventure. You let her believe that. A boat across water you'll never name. 8 hours in the dark. The little girl gets seasick. You hold her hair back while she vomits over the side. She falls asleep against your arm an hour later. You don't move. You don't want to wake her. 2 weeks of safe houses? Every car that passes could be the one that ends you. Then a plane with no markings. The nuclear program is set back a decade. The little girl will grow up American. She will never know how close she came. Your next identity, your next city, your next name. The courier in North Africa had 3 children. You saw photos in his wallet while he slept. A prayer card worn soft at the edges from years of handling. He was not a good man, but he was a father. You think about that in the hours when the cover is thin and the real name is the only one left. You dream in Arabic now. Sometimes you wake in a hotel room and have to look at the passport to confirm who you are. The confirmation takes longer than it used to. You still notice the car that passes twice. You still count the exits in every room. Some things don't go away, they just go quiet. There is no medal. When you die, your family will be told cardiac event, no ceremony, no flag, just a star. Why do you do it? 3 weeks ago, a bomb did not go off in a shopping mall in Virginia. 200 people went home, mothers, fathers, kids buying sneakers. None of them will ever know your name. None of them will ever know you exist. That's the only medal you need. Most days it's enough. You're in a cafe. Could be anywhere. Gray hair. A young man sits nearby. Fit, alert, trying too hard to look casual. He holds his coffee wrong, his posture too stiff. He checks his watch too often. Amateur, you spotted him in 3 seconds. You wore that look once. Before the languages, before the covers, before the little girl on the boat. You could teach him everything. How to hold a cup so it hides your face. How to use window reflections instead of turning your head. How to become so boring, so gray, so forgettable that the world stops registering your presence. But you won't. Because he doesn't know you exist. And he never will. That's the rule. That's always been the rule. You finish your coffee, you fold your newspaper, you leave exact change on the table, you walk out into the sunlight. Couples holding hands, kids on their way to school. None of them know. None of them will ever know. That's the point. You put on your jacket, you pick up your briefcase, forgettable, invisible, gone. And you disappear one last time, the way you have always disappeared, completely, without a trace, without a name, without anyone in this cafe or on this street or in this city knowing that you were ever here at all.